Guys, this is Matt Donald from the future, from the year 2070. I'm 79 years old. I know I don't sound it, but look, healthcare got really, really great in the future. But you know what didn't get great? Everything else. Nuclear war. Countries hate each other even more than they do now. Wealth inequality is up the wazoo. People are starving. Global warming has become global. Holy crap, it's really hot-ing. It's terrible. But the consensus is that it's the way it is now because in this version of the future, not enough people subscribe to my Patreon account at patreon.com/MatthewDonald. Well, I've come back to try and fix that future from ever happening again. So if you like your future to be, pretty good, like not great, but better than this, then subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/MatthewDonald. There you can find bonus content for both my shows, The Ritwit and Paleobites. For the Paleobites bonus content, we discuss pop culture featuring prehistoric animals, and this month we're talking about Paraworld, a really obscure but really fun real-time strategy game from back in the day that has dinosaurs and people riding dinosaurs and robots and pirates and samurai and guns. It's been described as Dinotopia meets Warcraft, and that's quite an apt description, I'd say. Link is in the description for you can sign up to the Patreon. Thank you for your support and have a lovely day. Sign up to the Patreon. Do it for the future! Now I gotta go back before the time police catch me.
Roar, growl, snarl, bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast more full of hot air than the Carboniferous period. My name's Matthew Donald, and each week I and a rotating series of guest co-hosts talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by big-time published author in terms of short stories and other stuff, and
well, I don't know if I'd say big time, but I'm
getting
there.
Way more successful than I am in that front. It's Stephen Curro.
Well, you're too kind. But hello, everybody.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So happy
how's
to be here.
How's the big author celebrity life treating you?
Oh, haha, yes. No, no, I mean, okay, as of now, I have a grand total of 9 stories published or forthcoming. Most of them are online, and I didn't get paid for any of them. They're really dinky.
Okay.
So I mean, I am certainly not.
If there's no
J.K.
money
Rowling.
involved, then I guess it doesn't. Okay.
Some of them are what you call for the love publications.
Yes.
Like you're doing it just for the credential.
Yeah, which is good. That's still good too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I feel like that's how I'm doing it sometimes. Even though I have made some money off my books.
I mean, I have made actually far more money off of my science fiction haiku. I get like $1 a poem that I publish. So,
whoa!
Yeah,
that's so cool. I need to publish some haikus.
You're good. I'll be happy to help you with that.
I've got the formula of haikus down pat. The problem is the feel.
It's haiku. Haiku is single and
Oh,
plural.
you're right. I've got the formula of haiku down pat. Sorry, I'm an English major, not a Japanese major. So. Okay.
But anyhow.
And speaking of, so here's the dinosaur related question then for you. Come up with a dinosaur haiku right now.
Jurassic Sun, Achentrosaurus, mud wallowing.
Good job.
Thank you.
Here's one. Then one day I found a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He then ate me up.
Just so you know, modern English haiku doesn't have to stick to the 5-7-5.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I noticed yours was a little bit shorter.
Right.
So
I mean, you went more classic. That's fine.
Yeah,
but yeah,
you see, I'm in the mainstream.
See,
pleb
in fourth grade, they lied to you. It doesn't have to be 5-7-5.
What?
No.
So it can be whatever, though, right?
It can be. I mean, shorter is better, but it's just that it's hard. 5-7-5 is strictly how it is in Japanese, and it's hard to capture the simplicity in English.
So yeah, yours was 4-6-4. What was
it?
I don't know.
We'll have to go back.
Jurassic Jam. That's Jurassic something.
Jurassic Sun.
Jurassic Sun.
Achentrosaurus mud wallowing. Achentrosaurus would be 5, and then mud wallowing. So mine was
4-5-4.
3-5-4.
Jurassic Sun.
4-5-4. No, you're right. 4-5-4.
So,
I can't.
Know your damn haiku, man. Okay. Okay, so we both got our haiku down, so, and we'll get graded on them shortly. So that's good. No pressure, right?
No pressure.
Otherwise, they'll send the Terminator pig against us. And speaking of which, We're talking about Daeodon, which is in a group of animals sometimes called the Hell Pigs or the Terminator Pigs, for real.
Uh-huh.
Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun.
It absolutely will not stop.
No. Do not go with it if you want to live.
No, exactly.
It will kill you.
It will find
It
you.
will terminate you.
Good thing Skynet didn't get a hold of these things, because that would just be
Well,
horrifying.
I don't know. I mean, the Terminators had like rocket launchers and nukes. You know,
Can you
this doesn't have that.
Imagine one of these with rocket launchers and nukes, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay, I can sort of imagine it with rocket launchers, like someone puts a rocket artillery thing on its back.
Yeah, that would work.
Well, I cannot imagine it with a nuke.
How about laser eyes?
Okay, yes. Can it meld through bars like a?
I would imagine.
Yeah, like the liquid metal sort of thing. What it does mean though is hostile tooth.
Fitting.
Yes, type is an entelodont, which is an extinct group of large pig-like mammals that I said before, sometimes called hell pigs or Terminator pigs. Size 7 to 9 feet / 2.25 to 3 meters long, 660 to 880 pounds or 300 to 400 kilograms.
Mm-hmm.
So a big, scary pig. It'll definitely win you the prize at the fair.
You said telodont?
Entelodont.
Okay, I thought I read entelodont, but I thought you said telodont. So I was like, wait a minute. No.
I might have said type. It is an entelodont. Or
Okay,
it
no,
is,
it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
I misheard
I
it.
talk so fast. Sometimes I miss syllables.
I'm 31. I think my hearing is already starting to go.
I'm turning 30 in less than a month.
Uh-oh. Enjoy it while you can.
Actually, by the time this episode comes out, my 30th birthday will have long been past.
Oh, that's still so exciting. I remember when I turned 30. It was like it was a little bit of shock to me, but it's fine. It's not
I've
bad
been
to be
calling
30.
up my mom with cold sweats, like I'm not ready. All my Facebook friends are getting married and having babies.
Well, I'm not married yet either, so
No, I know. It's not a competition, so...
I'm just saying you're not alone.
Of course I'm not married or have babies. Look at this podcast I have. Real virgin energy here. Anyways.
I think my father would call this podcast birth control.
I would also call it that. I would get a vasectomy, but I'm assuming it's redundant anyways.
Oh, right.
Anyways, diet for Daeodon. It's an omnivore, like most pigs. They'll eat pretty much anything. Time mid-Oligocene to early Miocene, 29 to 19 million years ago. So quite a range. 10 million years is not bad for a single genus.
That's a very good long run.
Yeah. It really is. Location, North America. Right here.
Exactly.
In fact, we'll get to it here, but it was described in 1878. Pop culture appearances. An episode of the Discovery Channel documentary series Monsters Resurrected features one. Also, Ark Survival Evolved has one.
Apparently, it was also in Walking with Beasts.
Oh, that is, and that would not be Daeodon because that episode took place in Asia, in Mongolia.
Oh.
So that would probably be another type of entelodont called Archaeotherium.
So that was like a cousin or something.
Yeah, it was a
Okay,
cousin.
my bad.
Yes, yes. They didn't name it though. They called it entelodont. So rather than giving a specific genus.
I did this last time with the other one. I keep referencing a similar creature. That's not it.
That's okay. That's what I'm here for, to correct you.
Oh, well, there we go.
That's why I have so many friends, because I like to correct people. They love it.
Well, for those who don't know, we're
Denver-based.
We're Denver-based. We are from Colorado.
Yes.
And we grew up with this creature.
Yes, because you walk through the prehistoric journey, part of Denver Museum of Nature and Science. You go to this nice little room with a diorama in it, and you see this thing opening its big stinky maw at you.
And it grumbles.
It grumbles. It growls. There's like a... Yeah.
It's creepy. Like, when you're 6 years old and you walk through the museum, you see that thing staring at you. It's a little more than a little intimidating.
And yeah, this isn't bones either. This is like a model.
Right.
So
I actually have the exact picture of that in my mammal book.
yeah, well, it must be pretty famous here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I love that exhibit though. Of course I do. Why wouldn't I? But every time I go to the Denver Museum, I always go through that. And most of the time when I'm going through, I usually discover something new too. Like
same here.
Because sometimes I like to skim when I go through it, but sometimes I really want to keep it get it all in.
Exactly.
Like soak it all in and find the little elf in the background of the
painting with the sticky moloch. Is that the one that's in?
It's in the Sticky Moloch room, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. What's it doing there? I don't know. No, I know it's an in joke for the
for those
museum.
For those who don't know, in the Museum of Nature and Science, all throughout the museum there are little elves painted in various art places.
And they usually have a little gnome hat too, right?
Yeah.
So these aren't like Tolkien elves. These are like
they're like little Santa elves or something.
Yeah. So
there's at least one in the prehistoric journey that I know of.
Yep. It's checking out, it's creeping on those sticky molochs. So yeah, it makes quite an impression at the museum though when you see this thing. Like I said, no skeleton. It's got like realistic model with skin and fur, so it looks pretty cool. In real life, it would have made quite an impression too, as it was the biggest of the entelodonts and a tough bully of a creature that would have eaten plants, meat, carrion, maybe fish if it wanted to. Seriously, this thing could have eaten anything. It probably would have been just fine in the alleyways of a modern city.
Anything smaller than it was not safe.
No, exactly. It was in a modern city. Lock up your pets.
Oh, God, yeah.
I think so.
I have a hard enough time dealing with coyotes. I don't want one of these things barreling through the backyard at night.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like coyotes, they can just leap over your fences. Here, they would just plow right
Just
through.
plow through it.
Like so.
Oh, my. Goodness gracious. You know, I don't eat pork anymore, but can you imagine how much bacon you'd get from this thing?
Oh, so much bacon. Would it be? I feel like it wouldn't be that good of a bacon though. Like I feel like since it's a real wild animal rather than like a pig, which is specifically meant to like raise the meat a certain way to make it a certain taste. I feel like it'd be all rusty and like.
It would be probably gamey.
Yeah.
I've had elk. Something's weird about it.
You know, another way to ruin the songs we were taught as children. You know the this little piggy went all that stuff. You know that's about how you prepare the pigs for slaughter.
Really?
This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef, which is the thing you feed it to give it a certain type of meat. And this little piggy had none. And the worst one of all is this little piggy went wee all the way home.
I thought that was just some stupid nursery rhyme.
You always think that, but no.
Damn it!
Yeah, wee all the way home. I.e., we didn't quite kill it.
It's like Rockabye Baby.
Yeah, or Ring Around the Rosie.
Ring Around the Rosie. Yeah.
Yeah. Why are we taught these things as kids?
I don't know. Well, Ring Around the Rosie comes from the Dark Ages,
it's about smallpox.
Yeah, bubonic plague or something
like that. Yeah, so.
Ugh. And then Rockabye Baby is just a very bizarre song that you don't.
A baby dies.
Yeah, it sounds very cute until you actually analyze it. In 9th grade, my teacher walked us through the lyrics, and we were all like, "What?
The poor baby." Yeah, my sister has a baby now who's just now a year old, and we know she's getting to the point where she's responding to a lot of those songs. We do Itsy Bitsy Spider. That one's fine. The spider doesn't die.
Right. He gets washed out, and then he climbs back up. He's
determined.
He doesn't give up.
No, exactly. Be like the spider.
I like it.
Okay. Yeah, so that pig one is just, it's brutal, man. Especially the wee on the way home.
I'm never going to look at that the same way again. What have you done?
It wasn't me. It was the stupid people who wrote the song.
Ugh. Well,
it was me for ruining it for you, though. You could have just lived in ignorant bliss the whole time, as I did until I knew the truth. Anyway,
so didn't they find this guy in Wyoming or?
Yeah, they found it in places like that. South Dakota probably too, like in Colorado. Its teeth, Daeodon's teeth, are unlike any other living animal, with large canine and molars that are heavily enameled, whatever that means. Enameled.
Means they have extra enamel.
Oh, well, what is enamel?
It's the outer coating of your tooth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's what protects your tooth.
See, this is why I bring you along.
Oh, there you go.
Like, what's enamel? I don't know. What's enamel with you?
So, yeah, I guess they had extra coating.
Yes.
Well, that would, in theory, make its teeth a bit more resistant to plaque buildup, which is helpful when you're a pig that eats anything you can get your mouth on.
Yeah, you're a wild animal. You don't exactly brush your teeth. So. Unlike other predators, it had no blades or notches for slicing meat, yet it could make up for this with its enormous head and jaw strength, allowing them to crush and swallow huge chunks of fresh meat as well as any predator.
Ew.
Yeah. Interestingly, its temporal muscles were enormous as adults, but normal-sized in juveniles.
Huh.
which suggests their extraordinary jaw strength were used for adult social behavior, such as fighting for territory rather than for eating.
Oh, interesting. So they would bite each other.
Yes,
essentially.
they would grasp each other's jaws and bite around each other like hippos sometimes do, which sounds real mean if you ask me. Leave each other alone, I say.
That is interesting. That would be a really big thing. That would be a sight to see
Yeah.
with these two, giant jaws snapping at each other on the savannah.
Well, the relative of that in Walking with Beasts, they did show a scene with that. So
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty brutal. Like you see the remains of the other one's face afterwards, and a lot of blood and gashes. Ugh, it's no fun. Nope.
Rude.
Nope. Stop it, guys. Stop it. Yeah. What else you got in there?
I'm just looking here. So, as you said, so they call them Hell Pigs, Terminator Pigs, and Killer Pigs, apparently.
A lot of mean names.
Yeah. There isn't so much in this book specifically about this species, but it talks about the family in general. They had large heads with blunt, rounded cusps on their cheeks and big canine tusks. So,
Yes.
I've always noticed that they had these big bony knobs on the side of their head.
Which
It looked
I don't
really
know.
weird.
Like those, that seems like a thing that we would normally not see in the living animal.
Yeah.
'Cause I've been told this before to ruin another thing for you. I've been aware of the concept of shrink wrapping in most paleo art.
Oh, yeah.
So-
where it just totally,
Yeah.
like the hippo, for example.
Yeah.
Like they show the hippo skull, and then they show like an artist representation. It looks like this scary Lord of the Rings monster.
Right.
And then they show the actual hippo, and it has this big pudgy face.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of memes for that. My favorite one is like the skull, and it shows the skull. The artist depiction, it shows I think one of those hyena things in Avatar, the little ones, and it says like the animal, and it's like a little gerbil with like stuffing something up its cheeks.
It could, that's a good point. Like, so maybe its skull was matted a bit more with fur or with muscle or fat
Yeah,
or something.
to hide that.
Yeah. So it,
I mean, that's what I mean, like
bit more of a-
dinosaurs do that all the time. Like, how many times have you seen a T-Rex in a movie where you can totally see the indent on its skull?
Oh, that's another good point.
Yeah, it wouldn't have that. That's
Probably
a
not.
very starved T-Rex if you could see the shape of its skull. And
Look at a normal lizard.
yeah.
Like, you don't.
My favorite variant of it, though, is this is one where it's exactly right, though. It's like this is the here's the skull, and it shows the skull. Here's the artist depiction of the animal, and it's a crocodile. And it says the animal, and it's a crocodile. Because that one's kind of hard to mess up.
Fair enough.
So, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyways, that's all I've got on this here about Daeodon. You got anything else?
I have that they first appeared in the late Middle Eocene in China. It's cousins anyway.
The entelodonts,
The
not
entelodonts
Daeodon
in general.
specifically.
Yeah. Most of the features that place entelodonts close to other suoids on recent, what is that? Phylogeny.
Yes, it's about taxonomy.
Phylogenies are primitive features of the teeth and skeleton, or features that could have evolved by convergent evolution.
Yes.
I love convergent evolution.
Convergent evolution is so cool.
Such a weird concept.
Why do an ichthyosaur and a dolphin and a shark look so similar despite having completely different relations? Because of convergent evolution.
Exactly. They just all took on very similar traits.
Yes.
Little by little. So apparently,
Which is why, oh, sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, like, something similar happened here with the skeletal design of these entelodonts.
Right. Well, it's like, that's why I kind of wonder, because some scientists, like I've seen Neil deGrasse Tyson say this about aliens, that when we find aliens, they'll look completely different because they're from a completely different lineage. And I'm like, is that necessarily true?
Possibly.
The design, maybe, for sure, but someone pointed out to me that I've seen a YouTube video about this where if you look at a dog and an ant, they look pretty different, obviously.
yeah.
But they both have a head at the front, a digestive system that goes from front to back, symmetrical legs, and segmented body, divide, not segmented like a dog, but just divided into parts.
Right.
If you look at the last common ancestor between an ant and a dog, it's just a little spherical blob thing that has none of those.
So they both had
They evolved
somewhat convergent evolution.
Yes, so
Yeah. I mean, I saw Stephen Hawking,
A bit different of a guy.
very different Stephen. Stephen Hawking's Into the Universe, which is a super fun documentary series. He talks about aliens, and he said that he postulates aliens might not be quite so different than we think, because it makes logical sense for creatures to evolve something like an eye or legs or something like
and
that.
to have the head at the front,
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows for sure? But
now they still could look completely different otherwise. Like,
exactly.
But yeah, I don't think they'd look so different. Unless they weren't carbon based, they were silicon based or something like that. But that's a whole other show.
We'll save that for another day.
For another episode called Alien Bites.
Speculative bites.
For all the it has to be speculative. Like, what are all the real alien creatures? The unconfirmed Martian bacteria. End of list.
Roswell.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways, let's rate Daeodon. One has 65 million.
Yeah, I gotta give this thing.
I'm gonna give it like 40 million personally. Like, it's cool. I wouldn't want to mess with it, but I don't know. Dinosaurs are cooler, man.
It made an impression on me when I was a kid. I'm gonna give it a 63.
Oh wow, really close to perfect. Wow.
It's freaky. I like it.
Yeah, it's cool though. It's like one of those things like, if you saw it in real life, I'm like,
I'm staying away from that.
That's true. Even if I saw a T-Rex in real life, my first thought would probably be like, cool, and then I'd go,
Exactly.
But for a dad, I would just be from the get-go.
Because it's a mammal,
yes.
So it's somewhat similar to us.
Yeah.
But it's freaky looking. Like a dinosaur, like a T-Rex is so alien,
yes,
compared to a human. We'd just be like, whoa, as opposed to a giant pig. Like, oh dear God, that's horrifying.
Yeah, like if I saw this thing in real life, my first thought would be like, whoa, whose dog is that?
Horrifying dog.
All right, well, that's it for this week. If you want to get the whole show, you can contact me at mattsd@matthewdoncareer.com for any general questions to either co-host. I forgot to say this last time, but you can follow me on social media at matthewdoncareer on Facebook, at matthewdon64 on Twitter, and matthewdon64 on Instagram. In terms of the stuff for me to plug, I have a book series on Amazon, Megazoic, available for print and Kindle. Obviously, no Daeodon, that is past the time of this. What do you got to plug, Stephen?
I have a website, stephencurro.com. That's Stephen spelled with a PH, where you can find the full list of my writing credentials. It's mostly just haiku and a few short stories, though.
Yes.
I keep saying it's going to come out by the time this is.
Well, when is this supposed to come out?
It's supposed to come out around the end of June.
Oh, well, then it's definitely out by the time
people listen to this already. Yeah. But yes, it's a novelette, standalone novelette with Heareth Publishing called The Spark. It's a sci-fi dystopian story, and it's super
amazing.
Awesome. You got to look it up.
Look, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's got a great twist. So
well, thank you. That's
I
what I was
not seeing it coming.
That's exactly what I was going for. So
yeah, so it's pretty cool stuff. Also, I have another podcast. I forgot to say this last time too. I have another podcast called The Writ Wits, where two twits talk about writing/writing other stuff. It's pretty good. You can find out more about my other non-dinosaur related works there. Got a Tesla book that either is coming out or surely it's not out by this point. Well, if it is, I'll link it in the description.
Well, I'm excited to see the Tesla.
As of recording, I have not quite finished the draft yet, but I'm really close. Like I'm at the climactic battle. So
excellent.
So yeah. And then there's editing and all the other stuff. Anyways, all right. Well, that's it for this week. This is the end of every episode of Paleo Bites. What was the thing it does in the museum?
I don't know. It's something weird like that. There. Oh, God, that hurt my throat. Gargling. Okay, there you go. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.